The warehouse has no name on its sign. There is a sign, a large one, white with black lettering, mounted above the loading dock. But the name has been painted over so many times that the surface is now a uniform, matte gray. The kind of gray that doesn't reflect light so much as absorb it. Delia Marsh drove past it every morning for 11 years on her way to the elementary school where she taught 4th grade. She never stopped. Most people in Harrow Falls didn't. The warehouse sat at the far end of Rutter Road, past the point where the sidewalk gave out and the asphalt went to gravel and the gravel went to packed dirt. And it had the specific quality of things that are technically visible but functionally ignored, like power lines, or the face of someone you have known so long you no longer see them. She moved away in March of 2019. A new job, a new city, a new apartment with windows that faced east. She was happy about it, or at least she was performing happiness convincingly enough that she eventually stopped checking whether it was real. The package arrived in October, not mailed. She had a locked mailbox in the lobby, and this package was on her kitchen table when she came home from work. She had not left her door unlocked. She had not given anyone a key. The package was a standard manila envelope, unsealed, and inside it was a single sheet of paper. At the top, in small, precise type, were the words, "Personal Inventory, Harrow Falls Archive." Below that was a number she had never seen before. Below that was a list. She has permitted the Twilight Registry to reproduce a portion of that list here. Item 47. 1 pair of shoes, patent leather, black, child size 6. Left in the coat closet of 14 Aldermore Lane at approximately 3:14 p.m., April 9th, 1994. Condition upon receipt, good. Storage location, Bay 7, Shelf C, Bin 47. Item 48. 1 memory. The specific quality of light through frosted glass on a winter morning, approximately 1992 to 1996. Recurrent. Condition upon receipt, faded but intact. Storage location, Bay 7, Shelf C, Bin 48. Item 49. 1. Promise. Made to a person whose name the subject no longer recalls, that the subject would not leave without saying goodbye. Kept status, no. Condition upon receipt, weight-bearing. Storage location, Bay 7, Shelf C, Bin 49. Item 50. 1. Father. Condition upon receipt, C. Attached. The list was 212 items long. At the bottom, below the last entry, was a line for a signature. Next to the signature line were the words B.Y. signing. The subject acknowledges receipt of inventory and authorizes final processing. Delia did not sign it. She called her sister in Harrow Falls that evening. She described the package, read several of the entries aloud. Her sister was quiet for a long moment and then said, "Don't go back." And then, after another pause, "We all got one." Delia asked when. Her sister said, "When we were ready." The Twilight Registry has been documenting anomalous inventory events in Harrow Falls and surrounding townships since 2009. What follows is a compilation of 17 confirmed inventory documents, annotated field reports from 2 registry investigators who visited the Rutter Road warehouse, and a partial transcript of the only known recorded interaction with a warehouse employee. We have given this employee the designation Clerk. We do not know the clerk's name. Multiple witnesses have described the same individual. Mid-height, unremarkable appearance, wearing gray coveralls with no visible insignia. But no 2 descriptions agree on the specifics of the face. The first registry investigator to visit the warehouse was a man named Veach. He drove to Rutter Road on a Tuesday morning in November 2021 and parked in the gravel lot beside the loading dock. He noted that the lot was empty, but showed evidence of recent use. Fresh tire tracks in the mud, and a small fleet of identical grey handcarts arranged in a neat row near the dock entrance. The main door was unlocked. Inside, Veach described a space that was simultaneously smaller than it appeared from outside and larger than should have been physically possible given the building's exterior dimensions. Standard warehouse architecture, high ceilings, metal shelving units, fluorescent lighting, but extending in directions that did not correspond to any logical floor plan. He estimated the visible storage area at several times the building's apparent square footage. The shelving units were labeled Bay 1 through some number he could not determine, because the numbers eventually became letters, and the letters eventually became symbols he did not recognize. And eventually, the shelving extended into a portion of the warehouse where the fluorescent lights were replaced by something dimmer and warmer, a faint amber glow that he described as resembling the light from a room where people have lived for a very long time. He found the clerk in Bay 14. The clerk was operating a hand scanner, moving along a shelf of bins and scanning each one in turn. Each scan produced a small tone, not an electronic beep, but something Veach described as closer to a note played on an instrument he had never heard before. A tone that existed in a register below the range of normal hearing, but was felt somehow in the chest. Veach identified himself as a researcher and asked if he could ask some questions. The clerk looked at him without apparent surprise and said, "You haven't received your inventory yet." Veach said he hadn't, no. The clerk said, "Then you're not ready." He asked what the warehouse stored. The clerk said, "Everything that was left." He asked, "Left where?" The clerk said, "Everywhere." When people leave places, they leave things. Not always objects, sometimes just pieces of themselves. States they were in and never returned to. Things they promised and didn't do. We keep them here until they're claimed. He asked, "What happens when they're claimed?" The clerk looked at him for a long moment, then said, "That depends on the item." He asked about the signature line, about what final processing meant. The clerk put down the scanner. This was the only moment in the interaction where the clerk appeared to give him full attention. Not the focused attention of someone listening carefully, but something more like the attention of a thing that has been built to notice certain categories of data and has just registered an entry in one of those categories. The clerk said, "Some items cannot be held indefinitely. They have weight. They accumulate. When the inventory reaches a certain density, it requires resolution. He asked what resolution looked like. The clerk said, "It depends on what the person owes." He asked, "Hours to what?" The clerk said, "To themselves. Mostly." Veitch spent 4 hours in the warehouse. His notes from that visit are detailed, cross-referenced, and end abruptly at 2:47 p.m. The final line reads, "I think I have been here before. Not this building, but this light. I have been in this light before, and I think I know what it means. I don't think I'm going to sign anything. I don't think I..." That is where the notes end. Veitch returned from his visit to Harrow Falls. He is alive, healthy, and has declined to continue fieldwork for the registry. He has not explained why. The second investigator visited in March 2022. She drove past the loading dock, turned around at the edge of the property, and drove back to the main road without stopping. Her field report is a single paragraph. It reads, "The building is real. The parking lot is real. I could see fluorescent light through the high windows and the outlines of shelving units through the glass panels in the loading dock door. I did not go in. I received my inventory 6 months ago. 41 pages. Item 214 was something I have not thought about in 23 years and have no idea how it would have been documented by anyone. I did not sign it, but I looked at it for a long time, and I am not ready to be in a room with someone who knows it exists." We have reviewed her inventory document with her permission. Item 214 is redacted in our copy at her request. We have agreed to that condition. Of the 17 inventory recipients we have interviewed, all of them described the same structure to the document. Precise dates, precise locations, precise descriptions of objects, and also of intangibles. Memories, promises, emotional states, versions of themselves they inhabited and then departed. All of them describe item 1 as the same thing, regardless of the recipient's age, history, or place of origin. Item 1 is always the certainty, held at approximately age 4 to 7, that the world was fundamentally safe. Condition upon receipt. See notes. Storage location. Bay 1, Shelf A, Bin 1. Every inventory we have reviewed lists this item first. Every inventory we have reviewed describes its condition in the notes with the same 2 words. Still warm. We do not know what the warehouse is precisely. We do not know who built it, or whether it was built by anyone, or whether it simply arrived at the end of Rutter Road, the way certain things arrive, not through action, but through accumulation, through the slow accrual of leaving, until leaving itself required a place to be kept. We know that Delia Marsh received a second inventory document in January of this year. 213 items. The new item, added at the bottom, was Item 213. One decision, made October 14th, 2019. Not to sign. Conditions upon receipt, still in effect. Storage location, pending. She called us when it arrived. She told us she had spent the night reading it again. all 213 items. That she had sat at her kitchen table with a cup of coffee that went cold and read the entire document from beginning to end. She said, "Some of it I don't remember at all. Some of it I remember and had no idea it would matter. Some of it I read and I just sat there because I thought I'd let it go. And it turns out I hadn't. I thought leaving was the same as letting go." We asked if she was going to sign it. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "The thing about that list is, it's not wrong. None of it is wrong. It's all real. Every single thing on it is something I actually left." She said, "I just need a little more time." As of the date of this report's publication, we have received no indication that the warehouse has closed, relocated, or ceased operation. The handcarts are still lined up by the loading dock. The fluorescent lights are still on. The sign above the door is still the same uniform gray. But in the past 3 weeks, 4 residents of Harrow Falls have reported finding that sign has changed. Not the text, which remains obscured, just the color. The gray is lighter now. The Twilight Registry does not speculate. We document, and we wait, and we maintain the record. But we are watching Rutter Road. This has been a Twilight Registry case file. The registry number for this case is TR-8047. All documents referenced in this report are held in secure archive. If you have received a personal inventory document, you are encouraged to contact us before making any decisions about signature. Our contact information is available through the registry's standard channels. We are here. We are keeping track. Sleep well, if you can.